Dollar Tree is selling its Family Dollar business to two PE firms for just over $1 billion. It acquired that business back in 2015 for about $9 billion. The company also reporting net sales of $5 billion when you exclude the sales from the Family Dollar stores.
Right now, it's time to show you some of this morning's headlines. The Wall Street Journal tells us about a deal this morning involving dollar stores and a lot of dollars. Discount chain Dollar Tree is buying Family Dollar stores.
You walk into Dollar Tree thinking you are about to score incredible deals. Everything's cheap. Everything looks harmless. But what if I told you that behind those $1.25 price tags hide secrets that could affect your health, your wallet, and even your safety? Toxic chemicals in products meant for children. Dangerous shortcuts in foreign factories. Employees overworked to the point of exhaustion, and lawsuits Dollar Tree hopes you never hear about. This is not just about cheap merchandise. This is about what happens when cutting costs becomes the company's only mission. And the deeper you go, the more disturbing the truth becomes. What you are about to discover might make you think twice before ever walking into Dollar Tree again. At first glance, Dollar Tree's pricing feels simple. Every item used to cost just $1. Now it's $1.25 for most items. But that small price tag hides a powerful psychological trick that keeps customers coming back and spending more than they ever intended. It taps directly into the way our brains process value, making us believe we're getting unbeatable deals, even when we're not. Psychologists call this the anchoring effect. When you walk into a store where nearly everything is priced the same, your brain locks onto that number. Suddenly, $1.25 becomes your reference point for what is cheap and affordable. Even if some products are barely worth that much, they feel like bargains simply because the price feels so low. You stop comparing actual value and start trusting the number on the shelf. And Dollar Tree knows it. Even more dangerous is what happens when you start filling your basket. 1, 2, 3 items don't seem like much, but the flat pricing tricks you into adding more and more without feeling like you're overspending. Before you know it, you have 20 items in your cart, and your bill has quietly grown far beyond what you originally planned to spend. The recent price increase from $1 to $1.25 might seem small, but it was a massive shift for Dollar Tree's profits. That 25% hike happened almost overnight in 2021, adding hundreds of millions in extra revenue while most customers barely blinked. Why? Because psychologically, $1.25 still feels like a dollar store. That tiny number still works its magic on your brain. But while your mind is being tricked by numbers, your body may be exposed to something far worse. Because next, we're going to uncover the shocking truth about what's actually inside many of Dollar Tree's products, and why some of them may be putting your health at serious risk. Most shoppers never stop to think about what's inside the products they toss into their Dollar Tree basket. After all, if it's being sold on store shelves, it must be safe, right? Unfortunately, that assumption has put countless customers at risk. Multiple investigations have uncovered alarming levels of toxic chemicals inside Dollar Tree products, and many of these dangerous substances are found in items meant for children. In one major investigation by the nonprofit group healthystuff.org, over 100 Dollar Tree products were tested for hazardous chemicals. The results were shocking. They found high levels of lead, phthalates, bromine, and even heavy metals like cadmium in toys, jewelry, kitchen utensils, and home goods. Several children's toys tested positive for chemicals known to cause developmental problems, reproductive harm, and even cancer. And yet these products were sitting on shelves for families to purchase without any warnings. One particularly disturbing example involved brightly colored children's lunch bags that tested positive for lead levels, far beyond what any parent would consider safe. Lead exposure is especially dangerous for young kids, causing permanent brain damage, learning disabilities, and long-term health issues even at low levels. But these items continued to be sold to unsuspecting parents looking for affordable school supplies. And it does not stop there. Many Dollar Tree cosmetics and personal care items have been found to contain unsafe levels of formaldehyde-releasing preservatives and parabens, which have been linked to hormone disruption and cancer risks. The packaging may look cheerful, but the ingredients inside tell a far more dangerous story. Consumer protection groups have repeatedly called for stricter oversight, but Dollar Tree's heavy reliance on foreign suppliers makes enforcement incredibly difficult. Many of these factories operate in countries with little to no regulatory oversight, allowing unsafe materials to slip through the cracks and end up directly in your home. And if you think the chemicals inside the products are bad, wait until you find out where these products are really coming from. Because next we are diving into Dollar Tree's secretive foreign supply chain. And what happens behind those factory doors will leave you stunned. Walk into any Dollar Tree and take a closer look at the labels. You will see the same countries pop up again and again: China, Vietnam, India, Bangladesh, and other low-cost manufacturing hubs. This is not by accident. Dollar Tree's ultra-low prices are built on a fragile web of foreign suppliers operating in countries where labor is cheap, regulations are weak, and oversight is minimal. And the hidden cost of those bargains might shock you. Dollar Tree imports over half of its inventory directly from overseas manufacturers. In many cases, these factories cut corners to meet Dollar Tree's rock-bottom pricing demands. Labor watchdogs have reported horrific working conditions inside some of these facilities. 12-hour shifts, 7-day work weeks, unsafe machinery, and workers paid poverty-level wages. In some factories, child labor has even been discovered, as desperate families allow their children to work illegally just to survive. But it gets even darker. Because regulations in these countries are so loose, many factories use banned or restricted chemicals in production. Chemicals that would never be allowed in US-based manufacturing. Unsafe plastics, toxic dyes, lead-based paints, and contaminated raw materials often go unchecked before products are boxed up and shipped to American shelves. One investigative report from the New York Times highlighted a factory in China that produced plastic toys for US dollar stores. The facility used recycled plastics laced with toxic flame retardants banned in America. But once those toys reached Dollar Tree, there were no warnings, no disclosures, and no way for customers to know what dangers were hiding inside. And because Dollar Tree has little direct control over every supplier in this tangled web, dangerous products can slip through unnoticed until independent testing or government inspections expose the problem, long after countless families have already brought them home. But while foreign suppliers are cutting corners overseas, Dollar Tree is pulling off another trick right here at home. Because even when the price goes up, the products keep shrinking, and what you are getting for your money keeps shrinking too. Let's dive into the next hidden trap, shrinkflation. When Dollar Tree raised its prices from $1 to $1.25, most customers assumed it was simply due to inflation. But quietly behind that small price hike, something else was happening. Many products were not only getting more expensive, they were also getting smaller, flimsier, and cheaper in quality. This sneaky tactic is known as shrinkflation, and Dollar Tree has mastered it. Take paper towels, for example. What once might have been a full-size roll now contains noticeably fewer sheets. Packages of toilet paper that used to offer more than 200 sheets per roll have quietly shrunk to 150 or even 100. The packaging often stays the same size and shape, tricking your eyes into thinking you're still getting the same value. But inside, you are paying more for less. It is not just paper goods. Snack bags that once felt full now contain more air than chips. Cleaning products that once came in 32-ounce bottles quietly dropped to 28 ounces or less. Dish soap, laundry detergent, and even pet food have all been hit with silent size reductions, while prices creep upward. And then there's the quality issue. Multiple customers have reported that Dollar Tree's once decent aluminum foil tears easily, their plastic storage bags split under light pressure, and their cookware warps after just a few uses. As production costs rise, manufacturers cut corners by using thinner materials, cheaper ingredients, and lower-grade components. The products might look the same at first glance, but they do not last as long, forcing you to repurchase sooner, putting even more money in Dollar Tree's pocket over time. This constant shaving of quantity and quality is a quiet cash machine for Dollar Tree. Customers feel like they are still getting a bargain because the price seems low, but in reality, the savings keep shrinking with every purchase. And while customers deal with lower quality goods, the workers inside Dollar Tree face a very different kind of pressure. Because next we are going behind the scenes to reveal what it is really like to work inside one of these stores. And what employees are saying may shock you. While customers fill their carts with cheap products, the workers behind the scenes are paying a very different kind of price. Dollar Tree's low prices do not just come from cheap products. They also come from brutally tight labor costs, bare-bones staffing, and working conditions that many former employees describe as exhausting, frustrating, and even dangerous. Dollar Tree operates one of the leanest labor models in retail. Most stores run with only 1 or 2 employees on duty at a time, even during peak hours. Former cashiers have shared stories of being left alone to run the entire store, juggling customers at the register while also trying to stock shelves, manage inventory, clean spills, and handle customer complaints, all at once. Breaks are rare, bathroom trips are rushed, and if one employee calls out sick, the entire store can fall into chaos. Wages are kept at the absolute legal minimum in most locations. Many employees report earning just pennies above minimum wage, with little opportunity for raises or full-time positions. Benefits are limited, and hours are often cut short to avoid triggering healthcare or overtime obligations. One former store manager described being given an impossible task: run an entire store on part-time staff with strict payroll limits. While meeting corporate sales quotas every week, the physical demands are equally severe. Employees are expected to unload heavy shipments, climb ladders to stock towering shelves, and clean dirty, cluttered stockrooms, often with little safety training or proper equipment. Injuries happen frequently, but many workers fear speaking up, worried they'll lose their jobs. Several former workers have also exposed issues with store security. With minimal staff and growing theft problems, some employees say they have been forced to confront shoplifters directly, putting their own safety at risk simply because there was no backup available. But perhaps most frustrating of all is the emotional toll. Former employees describe being yelled at by angry customers, blamed for out-of-stock items, and criticized for slow service when they were simply overwhelmed and alone. Dollar Tree keeps stores running on skeleton crews to maximize profits, while customers and workers bear the burden. And while working conditions may be rough, what's happening inside many Dollar Tree store locations goes beyond labor issues. Because next we are going to expose the health code horrors that inspectors have uncovered. And they are far more disgusting than most shoppers realize. When most people walk into a Dollar Tree, they focus on the bargains, not the floors, ceilings, or backrooms. But if you could step behind the scenes or read through some of the inspection reports, you might never shop there again. Because beyond the shelves of cheap merchandise, many Dollar Tree locations have been hiding serious health code violations that pose risks far greater than customers realize. Health inspectors across multiple states have documented shocking conditions in Dollar Tree stores. In one store, live rodent infestations were discovered, with droppings found on shelves, near food items, and inside storage rooms. In another location, inspectors found dead mice inside packaging boxes, contaminated food items, and unsanitary restrooms that had not been cleaned in days. These are not isolated incidents. State records show repeated violations for pest control failures, expired foods being sold to customers, and mold growing on ceiling tiles from persistent roof leaks. One former Dollar Tree employee described opening shipments that arrived infested with bugs, with managers instructing staff to just shake them out and put the items on shelves. In some stores, frozen food freezers malfunctioned, but rather than discard spoiled food, staff were told to refreeze items and continue selling them. Expired baby food, damaged packaging, and leaking cleaning products sitting on shelves next to edible goods have all been documented by inspectors. Part of the problem stems from Dollar Tree's razor-thin staffing model. With so few employees on duty, proper cleaning, inventory rotation, and pest control often fall to the bottom of the priority list. The result is stores that slowly fall into neglect, sometimes for months before corporate audits or inspections catch the most obvious problems. In some cases, health departments have temporarily shut down entire Dollar Tree locations due to the severity of the violations, but many stores are allowed to reopen after brief corrections, while the deeper problems remain. And while these sanitation failures are alarming, Dollar Tree has faced even bigger problems in courtrooms across the country. Because next, we are exposing the lawsuits, fraud cases, and legal troubles Dollar Tree hopes you never hear about. While most customers see Dollar Tree as a harmless place for cheap household goods, behind closed doors, the company has been fighting a long list of legal battles that paint a much darker picture. From federal warnings to multi-million-dollar lawsuits, Dollar Tree's track record with the law is far from clean, and the details may shock you. One of the most serious legal issues Dollar Tree faced came from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. In 2019, the FDA issued a public warning letter after discovering that Dollar Tree's foreign suppliers had repeatedly shipped contaminated over-the-counter medications and cosmetics into the United States. These products contained dangerous bacteria and failed basic safety standards, putting customers at serious risk. The FDA accused Dollar Tree of continuing to do business with manufacturers that had already been blacklisted for unsanitary practices. In response, Dollar Tree promised to tighten supplier oversight, but critics argue the company was far too slow to act. That was not the only time Dollar Tree found itself in legal hot water. Over the years, the company has been hit with numerous class action lawsuits involving everything from deceptive pricing practices to misleading product labeling. In several cases, Dollar Tree was accused of selling products that were falsely advertised as safe or non-toxic, despite containing hazardous materials that independent labs later exposed. Labor lawsuits have also piled up against Dollar Tree. The company has faced multiple claims from employees who said they were denied overtime pay, forced to work off the clock, or classified improperly to avoid paying benefits. Several former managers reported being given impossible staffing budgets that required them to work unpaid extra hours just to keep stores running. Some of these cases have resulted in costly settlements, but many more continue to work their way through the courts. Even the Federal Trade Commission has taken interest in Dollar Tree's business practices. The company's 2015 acquisition of rival chain Family Dollar came under heavy scrutiny, leading to antitrust investigations and conditions imposed to maintain fair competition. But critics argue that the merger allowed Dollar Tree to dominate the dollar store market even further, reducing consumer choice while continuing aggressive cost-cutting practices behind the scenes. Each one of these legal battles reveals the dangerous balancing act Dollar Tree is playing. It tries to protect its cheap price image while quietly cutting corners and exposing customers and employees to unnecessary risks. But how long can this game last? Because next we are going to look at the looming financial storm Dollar Tree may soon face, and why some experts believe this business model could collapse entirely. Section 9. The Unsustainable Future. How Dollar Tree could be heading for collapse. For years, Dollar Tree seemed unstoppable. Its rock-bottom prices, rapid expansion, and loyal customer base made it one of the fastest-growing discount retailers in America. But beneath the surface, Dollar Tree's entire business model is becoming more fragile by the day. And if the cracks keep spreading, experts warn that Dollar Tree could be heading straight toward a collapse. The first major threat is inflation. Dollar Tree's entire appeal is built on low prices. But as supplier costs continue rising across the globe, whether it's raw materials, shipping, or labor, the company has less and less room to absorb these increases. We already saw this when they broke their famous "everything's $1" promise by raising prices to $1.25. But even that increase may not be enough to keep up. If inflation keeps driving costs higher, Dollar Tree may soon be forced to raise prices again, risking the loss of its core identity. The second looming problem is labor. Dollar Tree's razor-thin staffing model has worked for years by stretching a tiny workforce to cover enormous workloads. But as labor laws tighten, minimum wages rise, and workers demand better conditions, Dollar Tree faces increasing pressure to raise pay and hire more staff, expenses that could quickly erode its narrow profit margins. Then there is the regulatory risk. After repeated warnings from the FDA, OSHA, and other government agencies, Dollar Tree may face stricter inspections, heavier fines, and costly compliance demands. Any major government crackdown could force the company to overhaul its cheap overseas supply chain, another huge financial hit. On top of all that, consumer behavior is changing fast. As online shopping continues to grow and more shoppers become aware of the safety and quality concerns inside dollar stores, Dollar Tree risks losing customers who no longer see it as the bargain haven it once was. Rising competition from larger retailers like Walmart, Amazon, and even discount giants like Aldi is only making that competition fiercer. In short, Dollar Tree has built its empire on a house of cards: cheap labor, overseas suppliers, minimal oversight, and ultra-thin profit margins. But one strong gust, a global recession, major lawsuits, or regulatory crackdown could send it all crashing down. And as we've seen throughout this video, the problems aren't just financial. They affect customers, employees, and even public health. Before we wrap up, let's take one final look at what all of this means for you as a shopper. If you are finding these truths about Dollar Tree as shocking as I am, do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Every time you do, it helps us dig even deeper to uncover the secrets these companies would rather keep hidden. And trust me, there are still plenty more stories out there that you deserve to know about. So stay tuned, because what you have heard today is only the beginning. So what is the real story behind Dollar Tree? It is not just a store filled with cheap products. It is a system built on razor-thin wages, overseas factories with weak oversight, products laced with dangerous chemicals, shrinking package sizes, disgusting health code violations, and a growing pile of lawsuits they hope you never hear about. And while customers think they are saving money, many end up paying a much higher price in wasted products, potential health risks, and a company culture that squeezes employees and suppliers just to survive. The truth is, when a business promises prices this low, someone always pays the difference. Sometimes it is the workers behind the scenes, sometimes it is the factories overseas, and sometimes it is you, the customer, who ends up with a product that is unsafe, poorly made, or far smaller than you realize. As shoppers, it is easy to get blinded by low prices. But now you know what really goes on behind the green signs and crowded shelves. Stay alert, ask questions, and never assume that cheap means harmless. Because in the world of dollar stores, what you see is rarely the full story.